Welcome in, Coyote fans, to the 2019 volleyball season and this week's Coyote Net Report, the first of the year. I'm sitting here with Coach Williamson, fresh off a exhibition match on Saturday against Minnesota State. First live look at this year's team, Coach. What positives did you take away from the match on Saturday?
Well, first, it was great to play somebody other than ourselves. You get so used to playing each other in practice. You get to know each other's tendencies, what people are good at, strengths and weaknesses, that it gets almost, I don't want to say it's easy to play against each other, but definitely you get into a little bit of a routine. So it was nice to see us have to adjust to somebody that we didn't know as well. We were able to do a scouting report as well, just to see if they can, follow those directions with each player being in and those types of things. So that was great to see. I do think our players actually did adjust pretty well. We played really good defense overall, and I think when you're playing against hitters that you don't know as well, that can be one thing that goes. So, in the past, we've been really good at defense, and it's something that I think our team will continue to be known for. And I do think we started the year out well in that way against Minnesota State. I think the other thing is, I mentioned it to a couple of different people along the way, but we are a lot more physical than what we've been in the past offensively, and we've got a lot of offensive weapons. We have a lot of depth on our roster right now, and I do think that the match against Minnesota State showed that as well. So, we feel like we were able to take away some really good positives from the match and really allow us to shape practices this week going into our first weekend.
Yeah, and you've gone through the 2 weeks of preseason camp now. Given, like you said, that depth, how competitive has practices been knowing that you do have that depth?
Our practices have been extremely intense and competitive, and I think what you see is different days, different people step up and have really good days. So it's been good to see a couple people that have kind of been pretty steady throughout, but it's also been really good to see maybe some of our younger players or players that are newer to the program come in and be able to showcase what they can do as well. So we've preached our depth in the last couple years of just how much that can help us, how that can actually help us win matches. Something we've started off with day one again of talking about, and that definitely has been evident to us, especially throughout preseason.
And speaking of that, the newcomers and younger faces, how's the chemistry with this team coming along, given all the new faces?
Yeah, I think overall it's been really good. Having two of our transfers come in the spring helped a lot, and then actually all five of our freshmen and our third transfer moved in this summer. So, July they were pretty much all here. They were able to play together. They were able to work out together. They were able to go to the pool and just really hang out and kind of form some of those relationships. So when we started on day one of preseason, it wasn't so much of a new thing. It was really this team had already bonded, had already kind of come together and had talked about what they wanted to accomplish this year. So it wasn't trying to develop some of those things already. We felt like we were kind of able to hit the ground running and really actually probably start at a higher point because of that. So, I think with it though, it's something that I don't think you're going to really see how good this chemistry can be until, partway through this year. It's something that, when you haven't played with each other a ton, especially when tough situations arise, when you struggle in a match, I think that's when you're going to really see what this chemistry is about. And we're going to have some probably growing pains through that. So there's going to be a lot of conversations, a lot of about learning moments about how to react, how to help each other, how to come together when things aren't going well. And that's something that I think it'll be there. I think it is there right now, but I think we've got a lot more to improve on in order to fully have the success that we want to have this year.
Where is this excitement level at, given that it is game week now?
A lot of excitement. I think as coaches, we're just excited to really get the season going. We really are happy with our team and with how hard they've worked this preseason so far, how much we've even just improved from day one to now. So, there's a different level of competitiveness that comes with playing somebody else. And I'm really excited to see our players step on the floor, compete against somebody else again. again, really as this season opens up with this weekend. So, I think it'll be fun to travel, be on the road. We spend a lot of time together when we travel, so I think it'll be good to see, again, those relationships continue to form throughout the team, and really just let's see what we can do, against somebody else. And I think this team is going to be special, so I'm just excited to get things going.
As we look ahead to this opening weekend in Indianapolis, obviously opening with a former Summit League team in the IUPUI, and then got to face a couple of really decent, really probably postseason teams from last year in Valparaiso, who was in the NIT, and Murray State, who was in the NCAAs. How big is this first weekend for you guys?
I think every match is big. We are going to continue to take it like we have in the past and take it one match at a time. But this weekend is a good test for us. I think a couple things that are going to be important. One, serve and pass. That is true no matter who we're playing, no matter what time of the season you're playing. You have to serve the ball well, and if you can pass in the system, I think we can score the ball very efficiently. So that's one of the things that we'll start talking about and have been talking about going into this week. I think the other thing is just with the 8 new people and having 3 different scouting reports, I think that'll be a good test for us because, we've got this week to prepare as best we can for our first match, but this is still going to be the first time we see them. So you're still kind of playing a team that you haven't seen in the past. And then, we have to turn around really quickly and play 2 more matches. So those scouting reports, we're not going to have a ton of time to practice it. You're not going to really have that on-court time. So we're going to kind of figure out what our team can handle and how well they do with that short turnaround. But something that we have to do, it's something we have to do for the first couple weeks of preseason. It's definitely something that we have to do in the conference tournament, where we play possibly 2 to 3 matches back to back. You don't have a lot of that prep time. So I think those are going to be good tests for us. And I think we have the physicality. I think we have the skill in order to have a lot of success this weekend, but we got to put it all together.
And once again, the Coyotes open the season on Friday against IUPUI and turn around and play on Saturday against Valparaiso, who was in the NIT last year, and Murray State, who was the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament champions, to close out the opening weekend. Coach, any last thoughts on getting the season rolling here?
I think if you haven't had a chance to come out and see this team play or haven't seen us play in the past, make your way to the CSC. I think this is a special group. I think they make volleyball extremely fun. And I think people will be pretty happy with how this team competes and how they represent the university.
How was the environment on Saturday? It looked like it was pretty good.
Oh, it was incredible. That's something that we want to continue to have. Our student section, the Coyote Crazies, were awesome. They were involved, they were engaged, they were loud. They made it a really fun place to play. And, the rest of our fans you saw are dedicated, season ticket holders, and you saw the people that truly understand, what volleyball is. And I do think we had some people that came for the first time. So, we really, you could tell when we did something good because the crowd definitely reacted in a way to make it a great environment for us to play in a tough environment for our opponents, and that's what we want going forward.
All right, Kyle fans, and make sure you check back in at goyotes.com later in the week for a more in-depth season preview as the Coyotes get ready to head into Indianapolis this weekend.